And welcome back, folks. Thank you for joining me for yet another week. This is Back to the Drawing Board. My name is Mark Saxton, and not Friday night, but Saturday night beers. Cheers. That'll do. That'll do. So, not coming at you at the normal Friday night, so not going to cover too much, as there really wasn't anything going on crazy in college football. I guess there was a couple of, I guess, big teams playing each other, but to where it doesn't matter anymore. So let's go on to the UFC. Now, here's the thing. I want to talk about just the two fights. Ian Machado Gary. Now, I did not. Here's the crazy thing. Hats off to Ian Machado Gary, but I did not expect him to beat Rachmanov. And he came close. Like, I mean, not beat, but like not even. I didn't think it was going to be even close, right? And he took Rachmanov to a decision. So that's crazy. And then being able to beat Paredes via decision, and then being able to beat Bilal Muhammad. So I mean, given all the credit, his only loss being to Rachmanov. I didn't think he was going to be close with Bilal either. But I mean, he went in there and stuck to his game and played the right amount of defense. So hate him or love him, I know there's a lot of controversy with that guy. It is what it is, but give credit where it's due because, like I said, I didn't think it was going to be close with either one of those kind of guys, and he ended up winning one of them. So I think that's cool. It's kind of fun to see, kind of shaking things up. Let's move along to Armand and Dan the Man Hooker. Armand getting the win by submission and kind of just using his strength to really bully Dan. And Dan's great, got hands. I mean, he's one of the meanest guys. He's one of the more violent guys. So I think the fun part for me, it was a great fight. Got to see at least that one. I didn't get to watch the rest of the card fully. So, but the fun part for me was two great fighters. Armand solidifying that he's next for Taporia. Um, I know for me personally, my dream is still for Patty the Batty and Taporia to fight each other. I do respect Dana in the sense where if you let that happen, then basically your rankings mean nothing. Armand should be the next one up. He's proven it time and time again, and then beating Dan Hooker the way that he did, manhandling him. I think he's the next. He's got to be the next guy to be able to face Taporia. So, congrats, Armand. You deserve it. I hope that the next fight you have is that championship title fight against Taporia. I believe it's probably looking like maybe Gaethje and Patty the Batty or something like that. So on that front, so I mean, I think Patty the Batty's got a few more fights he's got to notch in and lock in before he's going to get that shot. So agree with it or don't. It makes sense. I get it. But yeah, like I said, congrats, Armand. You deserve it. Let's move it along to some football as week 12 kicking off tomorrow. And, well, it started off, sorry, excuse me. It started off with the Bills and the Texans. Now, here's a crazy thing. What a great game. First of all, that last 2.5 minutes, whatever it was, when the Bills had the ball and they had two or three timeouts. I forget now. But they were able, yeah, they were able to march the ball down the field. They were not able to punch it in. Texans obviously having one heck of a defense. I thought it was crazy that they were able to get it done on the offensive side without Stroud. But hey, once again, give credit where credit is due. Hats off. Definitely coming into this spot with Mills, 4 Mills. I mean, so hats off to him. 153 yards, 16 out of 32 tutties. Not a crazy game, but just enough, right? Two tutties. While on the other side, the Texan defense handing Allen two interceptions. So 24, 34, 253 yards, no tutties, right? So I think offensively, they did just enough, and defensively they had the Bills handled. A lot of people were talking trash, saying that the Bills are pretenders and this and that. I wouldn't call them pretenders yet. They are showing some struggle with the inconsistency on that offensive side. The defense has kind of been the same, at least mostly, if you will, throughout the year, where where they're gonna keep you in the game. They're not you know shutting anybody down, but I mean they're obviously no punk either on that defensive side. So I think offensively, if they can figure out the inconsistencies and move the ball, as well as they can in certain areas and keep that to where they can do it against any team, I think you got something cooking. The Texans, as banged up as they've been, it's kind of hard to see where they're going to go. So let's move it on to Sunday. One of the first games, Packers and Vikings. Taking them, obviously, I'm taking my Packers. Um, I don't think the Vikings. The one, they're all banged up, and we could say this or that about JJ McCarthy. I frankly don't know if he's going to be that guy or not. There's stretches of brilliance, and then there's stretches of rookies. That rookie bonehead moves. So I'm going to hold off on too harsh of a call on him yet. I think honestly next year, if he's still kind of being the same guy, maybe look at moving from him. If he can't figure out how to get things together. But last game he didn't look terrible, but he just wasn't the guy that you would expect him to be at this point of the season. Colts and Chiefs. Now here's what's crazy: is you got Cam Newton kind of talking trash and saying all these crazy things about Drake May. Now, and in his defense, he kind of cleared it up, I guess, where he was saying that he was talking about the team as a whole, that maybe they're not those guys and this and that, or however he wanted to clean it up. I forget now, but what didn't make sense to me, because you can have your opinion and that's fine, but what doesn't make sense to me is when he said that Drake May is not going to be a rock hard winner like Patrick Mahomes this season. I mean, he's 5-5. They're third in the West. I don't. That's the guy that you're going to put him up against. I mean, look at Drake May's 9-2, and no disrespect, Cam, but there's something that you, him, and I all have in common. We don't have Super Bowl rings, so I don't know what you're doing. Trashing on the guy. It doesn't make sense to me. And you keep saying, "Don't poke the bear, don't poke the bear." Well, I don't see where you're right. 5-5 Chiefs team, a 5-5 Chiefs team, and you're calling that a rock hard winner. That doesn't sit well with me. And you did throw in Indiana Jones on there, but here's the thing: the Colts. I think the Colts are going to win against the Chiefs tomorrow. So I don't understand where you're coming from. The next Bears and Steelers, and I think this is another important one. One, for that NFC North, and two, to kind of see exactly where the Steelers are at going on the road to Chicago. That's going to help that AFC North as well, kind of shake that up. I don't know. I still don't think the Bears are the real deal. I'm still not convinced. Like I said, the only real win, real teams that they've had, are a beat up Commanders team that they won against, and the Vikings, like I said, have been beat up not on and off all year. So they did beat the Vikings, though. They hung on. They got the field goal. I'm not talking shit on that. But like I said, we'll see what it's like when they're playing, top tier teams. I think this will be a great test for them. If they win, I'm not going to say, "Yep, they're for real now." But hey, I'm going to take them a little bit more serious now. When we talk about them moving forward. Still not convinced though. I'm going to go ahead and take the Steelers on the road. Pats and Bengals, easy Pats. Let's move it along. I think the next big one would probably be not, and I hate to say this, but I think the division rivalry will come out. I think it'll be a decent game as the Eagles and the Cowboys. Not saying that the Eagles aren't going to clobber them. I think they will, but I think it's going to be one of those defensive rivalry. I'm expecting like a 28-14. you know, 27-17 type thing. 2-score game. Bucks and Rams going to be extremely interesting. The Rams figuring out how to beat the Seahawks last weekend. Baker Mayfield, I think, like I said, he's doing his thing over there. I mean, yeah, they're 6-4, but some tough losses, some tough teams they played, and then they've been getting beat up all year. So I think that's going to be a fun Sunday night football watch. And then Monday night is awful. The Panthers and the Niners. The Niners should absolutely smash the Panthers. So hockey and basketball in full swing. Love seeing that. I love, like I said, this is one of my favorite times of the year. We'll discuss that as they go with the NBA Cup happen. The play in, I believe, is what they call it, or pool play, whatever it was, happening last night. Yeah, group play. So that's going to be fun. And the NBA Cup, I like a lot of people. There's a lot of people talking trash on it. And here's the thing: I understand it's not prestigious. No, it doesn't really mean anything. Like they want you to think it means something, but it doesn't. But what I think is cool is one, there are more games, which helps those guys that do the load management. Even though I hate load management, I think it's been taken advantage of extremely bad. But I think it's important to remember that these extra games in an in season tournament is fun because now you can get other guys different looks, start developing other players. Like I said, the load management. So you're going to see, because you should see those guys taking and playing more regular season games because they're not going to be playing these games. Remember, you're adding games to the season, so have them take an off night on those, and that should help them play another regular season. So ideally, that should open up your roster a whole lot more. And like I said, it helps on the development side as well, helping them catch up to speed. And then, hey, at the end of the day, it might not be much, but it's still some hardware you get to win. So I think that's cool. I think that's fun. We'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, moving forward, NCAA, the college football playoffs right around the corner, a few weeks out yet. So we'll be in line for that December 5th, folks, is the World Cup draw, as that is all being wrapped up as well. So looking forward to a lot of sports. Once again, my name is Mark Saxon. This is Back to the Drawing Board. Thank you for joining me for yet another week, and have a weekend, and happy Thanksgiving, because it's right around the corner. Drink some beers, eat all the food, have a blast, have a ball.